There might be something to this, gleaning the cube. Luminaughty. Here begins this session's melt. I am having financial liquidity, stability, directivity, and security. Because I have built it, rebuilt it, and am building it. Not to be a bore in an untangle, other than being a kid caught napping on a billy goat's chore. Comment, follow, hype, subscribe, and to what's more, steal yourself and or be stolen. Stagecrafts of negotiation within alternative NCI context inspired by my love for nursing quality of doctoring planetary milk and by the work of Chase Huggies. Coordinate varietal selection. Swords may be verbal, the shields may be nouns, the adjectives may be arrows of opportunity in temporal context. Plot, variety, futures, XYZ, PDQ. Let it be easy, savory. Let it be fun. XYZ, PDQ. 8 Mile? One chance to blow? Accept this how you may, save. No, what proceeds from here may come about through an inversion of reverse psychology when its cipher cracks. This is our renewed business model, right here, right fucking A now. Nimblejack that French candlestick. You supersede our right to its governing reciprocations. You become an enemy and or a weed possessed by adversary to be vetted. This fresh take of a watering system for irrigation practices the world over is derived from my personal artistry and experience from the movie Mosquito Coast and revolves around the proliferation of ice, baby, ice. A slowed, consistent melt into irrigations. Handle or be handled. Let it be easy, savory. Let it be fun. Change war discussion to coordination, threat to risk, conflict to misunderstanding, emergency to process. Plots garden control tempo and behavior, varieties control permission and meaning. Study triggering safety by categories, early, calm, boring, uncontested, variety shielding via moral immunity through specification, safety, criticism, recklessness, care, criticism, cruelty, guidance, criticism, ignorance, professionalism, criticism, immaturity. The human system hates ambiguity. Avoid this and preserve energy by triggering relief. Under varietal selection, relief feels like truth. Varietal selection controls fails when rushing, being clever, cornering identity, and blocking exit strategies. When people feel trapped, they struggle to comply with opportunity and or options for change. To avoid revolt, preserve dignity, allow exits, and it should feel obvious rather than forced to the target persona. We may not win arguments, debates, discussions, nor negotiations with presenting and or having better facts. Our goal is to win an outcome rather than an argument. Decide what kind of reality people are standing in. Plots decide how we move. Varieties decide what's allowed. So, what can we be inside our stagecraft of reality? Identity is as a metaphor and or set of futures that turned into a solid substrate canvas and the paint of behavior can be somewhat predictably automated. Divorced from the idea that futures are, or metaphor is, linguistic tooling of the mind. Adopt conceptualizing futures as somatic tactile gears for circumstantial experiential tools of mechanical entry. Futures define constraints, and some people enjoy opportunities to pull Houdini acts. Others that not so much in the untangles are not so turned on by it. So reading the room becomes paramount to being decisive. Supersede adopting metaphors for futures with leads. Negotiations of identity trigger defensive shelling. In survivals, we may create alter egos for a living. Attacking identity solidifies entrenched behaviors. There's maybe a better way to describe what's going on. Here, quote from, there might be something to this, Gleaning the Cube, from Chase Huggies. Not, you are wrong about yourself. Metaphorical futures, suppression swap. Keep dignity and add movement for a good script. Most proven successful way to readjust a plot? What is it that makes you say that? Have you won more arguments than you've solved problems? Preserve status. Discern bad or good intent without disclosure to whom they are being vetted for it. Or don't do it. Behavior preservatives in soil compositions. Preserve the intent and work at changing the metaphors for futures supporting the intent we may be working over with a plow for change. Tackle tractor mechanically rather than attempting to pull a stubborn auxiliary drive. Other than downplay identity, just offer the opportunity of adoption of a supportive metaphor or set of futures that builds from the cornerstone of an alternative castle to chess occupation. If they are thinking or feeling, no, I'm not, you're done. You've lost the reins on the chariot. You must steer them clear of the assumption they have just been a passenger all along. People have to know they have not lost this agency is paramount to integrity. Tilling the plot for a new season before this happens should likely be an underwriting current or instinctive intuition that is consistently subconsciously predetermining awareness to be blessed with recognition prior to a deja vu, as so may be circumvented. Looks like overload, not damage to me in this untangle. Are you with more or have another perspective you might care to share? We are exposing a script, not a part in the untangle to a given thespian who has other than as of yet walked off the set. That reaction makes sense as a protective trigger on which to act. Your emotional control shows a healthy variety you can root from under this canopy from your truncation for your thespian on stage of this forest. No, so seriously. No, so seriously. I feel you are getting a real sense of what the trees are actually going to look like when we get round the mountain within the sweep of those dust bunnies over the molehills for freckles and smirks. Are you offering abandonment of their part or alternative expressions of an underlying script offering freedom of autonomy in their opportunity to maintain a supportive role? Rephrase however you like, save, this may be worthy of running in the background as a generating systems engine within your matrix of interactions when vetting for a loyal spy within a given stagecraft of a garden plot at other than being designated into offsides territory under an apparent jungle gym. If an actor has to defend their integrity, their ingenuity, artistry, or ability to act leverages closing beyond your favor to regain the reins, and the driver of the chariot you have been rototilling may be forfeit. Maintain optionality, respectfulness, and accuracy to maintain your ability to share responsibility of the reins. Plots decide the grounds. Varieties decide what's allowed. Metaphors to futures decide who you can be. If it feels optional, it sticks. It's planted. If you can run this in sequence under pressure without thinking, you have successfully reinforced and or rewired your system for automated approach to mutually beneficial yield to cornucopias. Plot variety, futures. Set the altimeter for a reading of futures by adjusting the variety with an overview of what there is to work with from a sharing of plot. Altimeter controls acclamation. Futures are not the content of the untangles. They are the acclamation of plot. Expose the plot, lay it bare casually, early, as though apparent from the get-go. When pertinent, sweep the foundation clear for what futures may be tilled for as a controlled burn-off of any weeds. Plots loosen, varieties seed flavor of ice to melt. Futures weed out opposition. And reins harness your plow to momentum. Shaping scripts for identity with pattern recognition of optional expressions that lead towards mutually beneficial alignments. Quiet the noise. Allow for rumination. The pauses are your bat guano of Ormus gold. Most people argue while another decides context. They debate facts while another controls permission. They fight outcomes while another shapes identity. Recognize this and stabilize objectives through navigation of alternative leads to mutually beneficial assessments. And should that disclose a vet, so be it. Shirk contention with circumstances outside of your control. Get yourself out of a riptide by other than fighting it so your instinct can take over, feeling its flow for that kick to be spit out. Heated. Check altimeter over plot. Frozen. Check variety. Plow stuck. Listen for identification with futures. Feelings of certainty should be geared to trigger a quest for the structure of the plot being gardened here. Uncertainty should be the fuel of one's tractor in these fields. That is one's buying power to till in. Brush stretch of canvas, color palette, dilute, mix, or apply directly, that's the paint. Handle or be handled. XYZ PDQ. Let's be easy, savory. Let it be fun. XYZ PDQ. 8 Mile? One chance to blow? Accept this how you may, save no. What proceeds from here may come about through an inversion of reverse psychology when its cipher cracks. This is our ice. Renewed business model right here, right fucking A now. Nibblejack that French candlestick. You supersede our right to this governing reciprocations. You become an enemy and or weed possessed by adversary to be vetted. This fresh take of a watering system for irrigation practices the world over is derived from my personal artistry and experience from the movie Mosquito Coast and revolves around the proliferation of ice. Ice, baby, ice. Handle or be handled. Let it be easy, savory. Let it be fun.